The floodlights are on over Gavan. The pitch is slick under the Glasgow lights, and the air inside this famous old stadium is charged with the kind of nervous tension that only European nights can generate. 90 minutes, and perhaps more, to decide who advances and who falls away. Rangers find themselves walking an immediate early season tightrope, trailing 2-1 from last week's first leg in Poland. Derek McInnes has called on his players to throw off the handbrake, play with risk, and give this crowd something to ignite behind. But standing in their path, Jagiellonia-Bialystok, a side arriving in Scotland, holding the aggregate lead, brimming with confidence and harbouring no intentions of simply parking the bus. It's a night where reputations mean nothing and execution means everything. And remember, the safety net of the away goals rule is ancient history in ties like this. The arithmetic facing the home side tonight is starkly simple. A one-goal victory for Rangers merely drags this contest into 30 additional minutes of extra time. Anything less than a win, and the journey in this tournament ends right here. To progress outright in regulation, it has to be a 2-goal margin. Otherwise, they'll be making a step down in level. A very warm welcome along to our live coverage tonight. Whether you're listening at home, on the move, or tuning in from further afield, we're delighted to have your company for what promises to be a gripping second leg. Just a quick reminder as well as we settle in, this is independent, unofficial audio commentary, broadcast, bringing you live ball-by-ball coverage of tonight's tie. We're unaffiliated with any official football governing bodies or tournament organisers. My name is Charlie McGuinness, and over the next 90 minutes, and maybe even a little bit more, we'll be taking you right to the heart of the action as these two sides battle for a place in the playoff round. And the prize is already mapped out. Tonight's aggregate winner moves straight through to the playoff round to face Georgian side Iberia in 1999, who earned their spot with an extra time win over Larn. Meanwhile, for the team eliminated, there is a consolation safety net, dropping directly into the secondary European playoff pathway against either Jablonec of the Czech Republic or RFS of Latvia. It's a remarkably warm, balmy late summer evening here in Glasgow, with temperatures hovering around 24 degrees as the light begins to fade over Gavan. The pitch is in immaculate condition. The two sets of players have wandered out onto it already. Ibrox is packed to capacity tonight with over 50,000 supporters filling the stands, and tucked away in the corner a vibrant contingent of Jagiellonia-Bialystok fans clad in red and yellow. They've made the long journey from northeastern Poland, determined to make themselves heard on a historic night for their club. And the story of this tie is anchored in two vastly different team dynamics. For Rangers, the early weeks of the Derek McInnes era have proven exceptionally bumpy. Winless in his opening 3 competitive matches, a draw at Dundee United flanked by a first leg defeat in Bialystok, and a painful home loss to Hibernian on Sunday. The pressure on the home dugout is already tangible. McInnes took the helm in Gavan this summer with high expectations after guiding Hearts to a remarkable second place finish last term, missing out on the league title on just the final day of the season, where a growing medical room and a high-profile departures have forced his hand early. His message in yesterday's press conference and his pre-match comments were unambiguous. Rangers must stop playing safe football. He demanded his side play with more intent, commit bodies into the penalty area and embrace tactical risk. As for Jagiellonia, Adrian Shimenets, at just 34 years of age, has overseen a revolution in northeastern Poland. He's transformed the club fighting domestic relegation into league contenders built on brave, fluid, possession-based identity. They've sacrificed their 6-game unbeaten run over the weekend by making 5 squad changes in domestic defeat. The priorities are clear. He's called tonight's second leg the single grandest European challenge in the club's history. Well, the team sheets are in. We're almost ready for kickoff. Then Derek McInnes has thrown a real tactical curveball for this second leg. There are 5 changes from the side that lost to Hibernian. Yvonne Pandur starts in goal. Dujon Sterling returns to the starting 11 to form a 3-man defence alongside Emmanuel Fernandez and Olwetu Makanya. In midfield, Dan Neil and Telo Asgard come into the central zone, flanked by Tatsuya Yokoto and JD Gasama, who we believe will operate as wing-backs. Up front, Ryan Naderi starts alongside Lawrence Shankland, replacing the injured Yusuf Chermiti. Vanya Dragojevic, Finley Curtis and Cameron Devlin all drop to the bench. That also features Conor Barron and Bojan Mijovski returning to matchday involvement. As for Jagiellonia-Bialystok, Adrian Shimenets names a strong attack-minded 11 with Slavomir Abramovic in goal, a back four of Norbert Wojciech, Bernardo Vital, Yuki Kobayashi and first leg own goal scorer Guillermo Montoya as they get underway at Ibrox. Captain Taras Sulalanchuk anchors the midfield alongside Anders Klinger, supporting an explosive front line featuring Rodrigo Conceição, Spanish playmaker Jesus Imaz and first leg brace hero Kajetan Schmidt, all playing behind central striker Nick Frelets. Well, it's a fascinating shift from McInnes. He spoke just before kick-off about the fact that they, in his words, are missing a left-back. That role is going to be occupied by JD Gassama out on that left-hand side tonight in a wing-back role. Pre-match formalities complete. And Rangers have an early throw-in. First involvement for the referee, the Greek Vasilis Fotias, who blows the whistle. I think he took a little bit too long in taking the throw-in there, Lawrence Shackland, a new evolution in officiating this season. So he's just turned it over. It will be a Jagiellonia throw. Rangers won it back inside the Polish side's half of the pitch. It's out on that right-hand side. Across the back line, Dujon Sterling to Fernandez. That's lofted forward up towards the edge of the penalty area and nodded away. Well, they're lining up in their yellow and red shirts tonight, Bialystok. Red shorts, yellow socks, Rangers in blue shirts, white shorts and black socks. That traditional home kit. As it's been picked up in midfield by Klinger, looks to switch it out to this right-hand side, finds the ball out to Conceição. Closed down quickly by Fernandez, early ball into the penalty area. I'll try and keep it in play, Jagiellonia. Bialystok, but it goes behind. There was Jesus Imaz, who made that little run into the inside right channel. The idea from Conceição was a good one. There were two defenders around the 35-year-old Spaniard. Here's Ivan Pandur, who will clatter that one downfield. The summer signing from Hull City. Facing Jack Butland. Joined the club just 43 days ago. It's a good challenge from Dan Neil, wearing the number 6, and ball breaks loose. Lawrence Shackland can't keep it. Fresh off international duties in the United States, Mexico and Canada, and Rangers trying to press high here. That almost found Nico Raskin in the middle of the park. Here comes Guillermo Montoya. Romanchuk in the middle of the park. He'll be the screen. Switch out again to Rodrigo Conceição. They're trying to make the most of the width offered by this relatively narrow Rangers tactical setup. Sterling gets it away. There is Shackland getting back and doing some defensive work. Klinger, Montoya out on the left-hand side, not far away from the edge of the penalty area, looking infield. Finds the ball backwards to the edge of the centre circle. Here's Yuki Kobayashi. Vital to Kobayashi. Clip down the left-hand side. Montoya tries to get after it, so does Schmidt. Sterling back in to clear the danger. Only as far as Montoya. Wojciech moves it on, right-hand side again for Conceição. Wojciech. Wojciech flicks it towards the edge of the penalty area. It's prodded away by Macania. It's all the way back by Bernardo Vital to the goalkeeper, Abramovich. One of four, I should say, Polish players in the starting lineup today for Bialystok. Lawrence Shackland, the only Scot in the Rangers 11 today. Only takes a cursory glance at the Rangers substitutes to really reinforce that point that Derek McInnes was making. Only one recognised defender on the bench, that's Alex Hutton. Maciej Dragojevic and Chukwani could probably slot in. Ross McCrory as well at right back, of course. They have a almost embarrassment of riches in terms of midfield areas. Bojan Mijovski, the only recognised centre forward. That injury to Yusuf Chermiti looks like he's going to keep him out for a prolonged period, but they'll get it forward here through Raskin down the right hand side. A first touch for Yokota running into the penalty area. Yokota looks for his cross, Sliding in, Montoya turns it behind for a Rangers corner. Daisuke Yokota. Signed just over a week ago from Hanover. £2.8 million. Featured in that defeat on Sunday to Hibernian. It's Tello Asgard who will take the corner. High-hanging ball to the edge of the 6-yard box. Fernandez got up. Gassama towards the back post. Raskin gets up again. Two jump for it at the same time. Almost gone each other's way. And Dad Neal tried to fire it back into the bodies. A strike from a long way out. Makanya draws a punch out of Abramovich, who gets it clear to the edge of the penalty area. Here's JD Gassama. Skipped past two and then tumbled into Guillermo Montoya. Here's Tello Asgard. Right start from Rangers. Raskin finds Yokota. Midway through the Bialystok half of the pitch. Sterling towards the penalty spot where it's cleared by the retreating Klinger. Ball breaks loose. Sterling again, and there's an attempt from Lawrence Shackner at the near post. Not the cleanest of contacts, but it's held on to by Slavomir Abramovich. Just peeled off his man, Lawrence Shackman, towards that near post area. A glancing blow, can't turn it past the goalkeeper, but it's a good chance. It's a warm day for a suit for Derek McInnes. Nicely turned out, the former Hearts manager. There's a half-sighter goal from Lawrence Shackman, nothing more than that really. Just at 24 degrees, and still quite bright in terms of sunlight here in Glasgow. Well, he's a man of his word. Adrien Simenyets. He's been full of confidence as he spoke to the media earlier this week. He said they weren't going to come and just sit back. You can understand why a goal would make it very difficult for Rangers to progress in normal time. Wouldn't be the end of their European ambitions for either of these two sides if they were to exit the competition this evening. Of course, it's the secondary of the multiple competitions across Europe, another to drop into should they have to go that route. There's Schmidt who wins the corner out on the left-hand side. Goes down by Dujon Sterling. Will be Guillermo Montoya, 22-year-old Portuguese national, to take the corner kick from the far side. Left-footed ball swinging high towards the back post. Here was the captain, Romanchuk, who was up. This hits a side netting wide of the target. It's long from the goalkeeper. Over. Heads in midfield. Goes for a handball out on that far side. Lawrence Shackman had a good view of it. Thought it just popped up and hit Montoya on the arm. Here's Makanya. A £3.1 million signing from Philadelphia Union. South Africa international. Made his debut back at the end of May in a 0-0 draw against Nicaragua. With the full 90 minutes of that one. He's just 22 years old, Oluwatu Makanya. Made his name at Stellenbosch back home. Abramovich. to Vital. He's the man playing on the right-hand side of those two centre-backs. Kobayashi the other. Abramovich is taking a bit of time on the ball here, just encouraging the Rangers players to press him a bit closer. Well, here's just Imouth wanted a free kick in the middle of the centre circle. Took a little bit of time to make his mind up for Vasilis Fotias. Tussling with Dan Neil. Looked at coming together initially, but I might get another look at it. Got the free kick quickly. Jagiellonia. It's over the top by Vital. And too far away from Nick Predatz. Both sides look up for this. Gassama. Moved on by Dan Neil. It's forward by Sterling. Now Yokota. Beats his man initially, Yokota. And then fizzed across the 6-yard box. Took a little flick off a Jagiellonia defender on the way out of play. So will be a corner for Rangers. His first thoughts to get his head down and take players on. Did well to beat Montoya and Klinger there. In one little movement, Daisuke Yokota. Asgard on set-piece duties from this near side as well. This one will be an in-swinger. Asgard towards the back post. It's right underneath the crossbar. Clawed away by Abramovich. He was left in a heap on the goal line. Rangers captain Lawrence Shackland is called over by Vasilis Fotias. It was Makanya jumping with him. Done well, Slavomir Abramovich. Luis Fernandez with the header from halfway. Ball pops out to Rodrigo Conceição on this right-hand side. Shuffled backwards. Now with Wojciech. Vital. Klinger. Wojciech. Steps away from Raskan. Romanchuk. Here's Klinger. All the way through. Flag stays down. It's off the base of the post. Pandur was beaten. It looked offside initially. Ball is still live. Here's Wojciech. There's a sigh of relief from the Rangers players. Here was Imouth. Here's Schmidt, last week's danger man. Romanchuk. By Montoya. And the header down was towards Imouth. Just couldn't really adjust his body to get a more telling touch on it. They should probably be in front here. Jagiellonia Bialystok. The initial chance falling to Imouth. And so did the second. It's Kobayashi who draws the referee's attention this time. For the challenge on Ryan Naderi. Gassama. It's back to his feet, but can't find a teammate, and Conceição will look to get away. Raskan. Yokota right-hand side to Nico Raskan. That's what I'd expected, that Kuheb Jriosh, a 24-year-old winger, is in the stands. Apparently he's completed a medical and is about to sign on the dotted line for a reported £6.5 to £7 million for Rangers as Yokota goes round the outside of his defender into the 6-yard box. Scooped away by Wojciech. The right man in the right place at the right time for Bialystok, but they can't take it away. It's good persistence from Raskan. Gassama looks to go past Wojciech, left in a heap. Did enough, but it hit his arm, and on the way down, Wojciech, and that'll be a free kick in a threatening position for Rangers. Daisuke Yokota has caused them problems. Every time he gets on the ball, he does seem to jangle some nerves in the Bialystok back line. This is around 10 yards from the byline, just 2 men in the wall. Telo Asgard, though, you wouldn't put it past him taking it on from this sort of position. It's a tight angle. There's going to be a VAR check, though. Vasilis Fotias is the referee. Evangelos Evangelou, the VAR has called him across to the pitch side monitor. I think it's for a potential handball on Yuki Kobayashi as Yokota got to the byline and tried to pull it back towards the strikers. He ducks his head down to try and get a head on the ball. There's two angles being shown to the referee. The first, it does seem to brush his hand. The second is a little bit more inconclusive. It's from a side-on view. He seems to have made his mind up, Vasilis Fotias. And it's a penalty. It's the former Celtic man, Yuki Kobayashi, who's been penalised for handball. Rangers have the opportunity to draw level on aggregate this evening with 17 minutes played. Looks like it's going to be Lawrence Shankland to face down Slavomir Abramovich. The Jagiellonia Bialystok goalkeeper saved the last penalty he faced, but can he deny Lawrence Shankland from 12 yards? Shankland to give Rangers an early lead at Ibrox. A little shuffle straight down the middle, and Rangers lead. Lawrence Shankland with an emphatic penalty. The captain leading from the front. Rangers 11 on aggregate. Just side foots it straight down the centre of the goal as Slavomir Abramovich went diving away to his right. You could almost sense the relief, the tension just lift from this stadium. It's what Derek McInnes would have wanted, an early goal here to give them the impetus, but they give it away in a dangerous position, and even Pandur is drawn into a really good save. It was Nico Raskan who was waiting for the ball to come to him. Once again, it's Jesus Imath who capitalised on a moment of hesitation and unleashed a stinging drive towards Pandur's left. There's the cutback. Prelec tried to fire one into the 6-yard box. Too many bodies in the way. This might break loose, and it will, to Lawrence Shankland trying to outmuscle the defender. It's the captain, Taras Ramanchuk, who pokes it away from the Scotland international. Well, a first goal in competitive action for Lawrence Shankland for Rangers after making the switch from Hearts back at the start of July. Made 2 appearances so far in North America. Featured versus Brazil and Haiti. Left the United States, Mexico and Canada without a goal to his name. Gassama gets forward, feels like he was pulled back. Referee agrees that'll be a free kick. Well, this isn't the only action in this stage of the tournament. Scottish supporters will have a keen eye on Hearts versus Benfica. That's goalless after a 6-1 win for Benfica back at home in Portugal. Here's Gassama, edge of the penalty area, looking for space, pokes it out to Yokota. Just slightly over here for Daisuke Yokota. The confidence inspired by that early goal has done Rangers a world of good already. You can feel the shift in atmosphere inside Ibrox tonight. It's exactly what Derek McInnes was after. He said he wanted something to ignite the crowd early on. Speaking to local broadcasters before the game, that's what he mentioned. He said that they're struggling with numbers at the moment. There's lots of injuries. They need a few more through the door in terms of defensive recruits at least. But they talk about the 12th man, don't they? It's an old cliche in football, but here at Ibrox, it's often much more than a cliche, more of a reality. It's Sterling. High towards Naderi. Asgard keeping Kobayashi honest. He's fallen on the ball on the byline, Kobayashi, not once, twice. Now Asgard guides it behind as Bernardo Vital protests it. Vasilis Fotiasvili was fouled a couple of times by the Norwegian there. He wants it to be a corner, Taylor Asgard. Will be a throw-in by Macania. Raskan. Emmanuel Fernandez. Sterling. Yokota. Sterling. All 10 of Rangers outfield players camped out on the Jagiellonia-Bialystok half of the pitch at the moment, but they've given the ball away. There's that man, Jesus Imath, again. After that to the right-hand side towards Nick Prelets. Well, that one will stop and go over his shoulder and is always going to take some catching up with. Here's Macania. Tug on the shirt of German Ryan Naderi. The free kick goes Rangers' way. Two goals for Rangers last season, one in the league, 2 in the cup, after making the winter move from Hansa Rostock. Here's Vital. Wojciech. Rode off by Prelets. Forward to a tricky Imath. Here's Raskan again. Sides past Roman Shurk and will take it on himself. It's over the crossbar. 25 minutes played at Ibrox. It is Rangers 1, Jagiellonia-Bialystok 0 in this unofficial independent commentary of this European third qualifying round, second leg Europe's second-tier competition, some might refer to it as. Bernardo Vital is down for Jagiellonia. He joined the club from Zaragoza back in July 2025. And a chance for Derek McInnes to have a word with a few of his players. They'll come over for an impromptu hold on to your hats, as I say the phrase, which may strike a bit of fear. Hydration break. We've got a decent amount of travelling fans in Jagiellonia, and they are making the most of the noise, it has to be said, inside Ibrox tonight. Well, there's some full-time results from this competition elsewhere. Besiktas have moved through to the next round with a 1-0 win over Hradec Kralove. Goal scored by Vaclav Černý after 40 minutes. Settled that tie early on. It's finished Paphos 3, Salzburg 3-8. Festival of goals in Cyprus. They were 2-0 up, in fact, after just 37 minutes. Goals from Lele and Biel. The fight back from RB Salzburg means that they move through at the expense of Paphos. Omonia Nicosia have knocked Red Imps out of this competition with a 1-0 win. Lois Dioni with the goal to see a 2-1 aggregate win over 2 legs against the Gibraltar side. Universitatea Craiova with a 2-1 win over Cups means that they will progress with a 3-2 aggregate win. So the second half in Reykjavik as Vikingur face Thun. As it stands, it's 3-2 in the game, 5-3 in aggregate to Thun. Half-time in Bulgaria. CSKA Sofia trail Maccabi Tel Aviv by a 1-0, but a comfortable, healthy aggregate lead going into that one. It's 3-1 on aggregate to Sofia. Anderlecht 1, PAOK 0. Still in the first half, it's Hearts 0, Benfica 0, still at Tynecastle over in Edinburgh. Game kicking off in around 2 minutes as Ignatia Rogozhinia face Shamrock Rovers, who have a 3-1 lead on aggregate. They're being played at the Arena Ignatia over in Albania. Jagiellonia here at Ibrox trying to restore their aggregate lead, which is currently 2 apiece between these two sides. It's into Wojciech. Clever defending from Olatu Makanya, or Chedi Gisama rather, who got his body across. Enjoy the contact. He's got his body in front of Wojciech and then slowed down. It's Thoy we see week in, week out. Chedi Gisama, not a recognised fullback, but in that situation knew exactly what he was doing. It's on from Pandur. Over the halfway line, headed forward by Romanchuk. Fernandez replies with a header of his own. Now here's Klinger. Fernandez tries to win it back. Emerging is Schmidt. He can poke it down the left-hand side for Montoya, who's in an advanced position. Sterling getting across. Plays it against Montoya. And that'll be a goal kick with half an hour gone. Bit of a problem for Daisuke Yokota, who's down holding his right foot. Just stepped on by Schmidt. To try to find a bit of space. The 24-year-old Pole. A February signing from Jagiellonia-LIVE. And £600 million. Here's Macania. Asgar. To Emmanuel Fernandez. Sterling. He's on the right-hand side of their back three. Rascat finds Emmanuel Fernandez, who's in the heart of that back three. And now a touch from Macania on the left-hand side of it. All three of them in a line across halfway. A goalless between Motherwell and HJK Helsinki. 1-1 on aggregate as well after the first leg in Finland. As Gassama gives it away, and his pocket pick by Rodrigo Conceição, brother of Francisco Conceição of Juventus. Here's Kobayashi, who can drive forward. Romanchuk on the half turn. Montoya. High ball towards the back post and it's claimed by Ivor Pandur. Asgard finds a gap between two Jagiellonia players, finds JD Gassama. Can he accelerate away? He's got a bit caught up in midfield, but will find Yokota in a central position at the moment. The fleet-footed Japanese. Right-hand side now, Nico Raskan. Will he get the ball in? He will. Into the edge of the 6-yard box where the header is behind by Romanchuk. Another corner kick. Well, Lawrence Shankland just peeled away. Nico Raskan wanted him to attack that. Another opportunity to deliver for Taylor Asgard here. Right, so Fernandez and Sterling up from the back. Asgard's delivery towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Fernandez nods it down. Here's JD Gassama, left-hand side of the penalty area, shifted onto his right foot. Now back onto his left, towards the back post. Bodies were arriving. It was Nico Raskan who's left in a heap, but I think it was probably a Macania with a better opportunity. He got up really well there, Nico Raskan. Little feint open up the space for JD Gassama to get the ball in. Little Cruyff turn, then onto his left. Posted towards the back post, and he's got in front of Macania there as Nico Raskan. It's flicked on towards Prelec. Sterling. Fernandez. Attempts the volleyed ball out to the right-hand side for Yokota. It's a wonderful play to watch, Emmanuel Fernandez, former Peterborough United defender. 7 goals last year. Here's Shankland, Asgard. Strike from range, not too far away. It was skipping across the turf. And bounces wide of the far post from Taylor Asgard. Just spun it outside the penalty area. Tries to catch Abramovich by surprise. Ten minutes to go in this first half. thoroughly entertaining one, it has to be said. And with his covering, it's back to Pandur. That's long for the Rangers keeper, looking for Shankland. Asgard is chasing as well. Nodded down by Conceição. Wojciech has to turn for home. Finds Kobayashi. Quite the hostile reception for Kobayashi that many had predicted. Spent 2 years at Celtic, just 11 appearances. A bit of frustration there. Someone goes behind. What a player, I should say, for a Rangers throw-in. That's in from Grisama. By Shankland in the penalty area. Good first touch close to his body. Now back out to JD Grisama on the left-hand side. Gets to the byline. Looks to lift it in. A little deflection on the way in. And took it behind. Slavomir Abramovich trying to do his best baseball catcher and reframe the pitch of that one, but it did go beyond the byline, so it'll be another corner for Rangers. The old trick, you see it from catches in baseball, as I just mentioned, also wicket keepers. As soon as the ball hits their gloves, they move it into a more legal position, shall we say. Asgard again towards the back post. A deep delivery. Macania was there. It was Fernandez with the header, though. It's a brilliant ball in from Telo Asgard. It's remarkable that one didn't end up at the back of the net. We haven't seen a replay, but Slavomir Abramovich still emerged with it. Important to mention, he's just 22 years old as well, the Jagiellonia goalkeeper. Relative baby in goalkeeping terms. Izzy Math across the penalty area. Conceição! Prelic was there. Sliding in, it's wide of the near post. From that back post area, they keep opening up little channels. Jagiellonia Białystok. Rangers with more possession and opportunity so far. Conceição has proved to be a real handful down this right-hand side. Well, the pre-match headlights was about Kajetan Schmidt on the left. And this wing-back system means there is a bit more space in wide areas. Abramovich spots up the goal kick. It'll be taken by Bernardo Vital. Trying to box them in here, Rangers. The goal kick goes short. Is Wojciech. Romanchuk. Vital. That's back by Klinger. Abramovich. Kobayashi. Haven't got about the defensive third yet. Jagiellonia. Imath with the flick out to Conceição on the right-hand side. Not close enough to him. It's Alberto Macania who will take the throw-in. Sterling. 40-yard diagonal towards the edge of the penalty area. Backpedaling with Wojciech. His header drops to JD Grisama. Shifted onto his right foot, deep towards the back post. Keeper comes out and punches clear. Drops to Yokota. In a crossing position on the right-hand side. Two converge in front of him. Yokota, left-footed ball, bounces off Shankland. Tried to control it with his chest. He really just pinged away from him. I think he was a little bit surprised with how much space he had. Raskan overhits the cross. He's trying to whip that one in, ended up just rocketing it behind. But there was a spell in the start to the first half where Jagiellonia were looking very dangerous. Rangers have got to grips with them, apart from that earlier chance just a few moments ago. Conceição, here's Gassama intercepting, and now Dan Neil, Yokota. Neil again. Asgard looking for Raskan's run. That's scooped away by Vital. There's another throw-in. Looks like Derek McInnes got his request. They're playing less safe, you would say, Rangers. It's leading to a couple of hairy moments here and there, but you'd say on the balance of play they probably deserve to be leading. Shanklin appealing for a handball, inadvertently handballs it himself. Referee happy to allow play to continue. Here's Shady Gassama looking for Asgard. Gassama gets it again and pokes it backwards down the left-hand side to Nico Raskan. Fernandez, Sterling, Yokota. Sterling again. Now Dan Neil. Neil for Emmanuel Fernandez. Macania. Raskan. Macania. Into the centre circle for Emmanuel Fernandez. Tries the long diagonal towards Gassama. There's Wojciech in the way. Now he's under pressure from Gassama. Has to hook it away. Prelec rather, backing into Dan Neil, who's won it back for Rangers. Telo Asgard chasing down this left-hand side. That's a foul by Nico Raskan on Rodrigo Conceição. Two minutes of normal time remaining in this first half. We'll have a fair bit with time added on as well for the VAR intervention, which has been the most pivotal moment of the game so far, you have to say. Exactly what he wants there, the referee, Vasilis Fotias. Free kick was taken from the wrong spot, not once, not twice, but three times. Eventually they got it right, Jagiellonia. Here's Montoya. Kobayashi. Vital. Things are out to the left-hand side. Here's Schmidt. Sterling had to make the challenge, had to get it right, and he did. And Fernandez can get it away. That's a heavy touch by Wojciech. Nice little back heel from Shanklin. Finds Asgard. Here's Yokota. Looking to take on Montoya. Yokota. Needs some support. Finds some inside. And Nico Raskan. Yokota's been left in a heap. Raskan. And again, he got underneath it. It's straight over the crossbar from Nico Raskan. Just couldn't get it out of his feet, Nico Raskan. It's caught under his body and it was always going to sail away there. Long by Abramovich. Neil with the header, wants a foul. And we'll get the decision from the referee. It's been good so far, I have to say. Vasilis Fotias. It's not the first time he's been in charge of a Rangers game. He was the man with the whistle during a 3-0 defeat away to Brann in October of last year. And we're moving to 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. So far, so good for Rangers. Jagiellonia will be a bit frustrated they haven't taken one of their chances. Macania. Asgard keeps it in. It's Fernandez. Kota. That one was taken off of him by Montoya. That's into Prelec. Sterling. Across to Macania. And Gassama. Trying to get away from Wojciech. And hasn't been able to win the throw either. He's had the ball in his hands for a long time. The referee's been counting down, so they won't turn over the ball. The Rangers will. Edge of the penalty area, Shankland. Naderi. Just wide. By way of a deflection. Rangers will have the corner to see out this first half. It's good defending from Bernardo Vital. Of course, problems from these corners, Rangers. Taylor Asgard, his deliveries so far have been pretty much perfect. Asgard, high towards the back post. Back across the face of goal by Raskan. Keeper spilt it. It's hacked away by Kobayashi. Yokota nods it forward. Cleared downfield, chasing after it Fernandez. Pandor has come to meet it. It's back to Fernandez. And that's that. Referee blows the whistle for half-time. And even opening 20 minutes, the deadlock was broken by Lawrence Shankland, who brought the aggregate to deadlock after a disappointing visit to northeastern Poland last week. Rangers back on track, you might say. Jagiellonia-Białystok, they came here to play and play they've had chances aplenty, most of them falling to Hajas Imath. But at the break, it's Rangers 1, Jagiellonia 0. It's 2-2 on aggregate. A fascinating 45 minutes to come. If it stays like this after 90 minutes, remember, we will go to extra time with the prospect of penalties hanging over this game. At half-time, though, at Ibrox, it's Rangers 1, Jagiellonia 0. Well, welcome back to Ibrox, where both teams have made their way back out onto the pitch for the second half. If you're just joining us on our live, independent and unofficial commentary, you'll arrive with this high, balanced on an absolute knife edge. Rangers lead 1-0 on the night thanks to Lawrence Shankland, who coolly converted a 19th minute penalty after a VAR review for a handball by Yuki Kobayashi. It means the aggregate is now 2-2. Derek McInnes has made an immediate move at the break. Ross McCrory is coming on to replace Tello Asgard. So you imagine he'll slot in at right back and change the emphasis in midfield. As things stand with the away goals rule gone, we are 45 minutes away from extra time and potentially a penalty shootout. But 45 minutes is a long time. Derek McInnes will be urging his side to build on that momentum, while Adrian Ximenez and Jagiellonia-Bialystok will know a single goal on the break completely reshapes the tie once more. Some frustration for the locals and the manager, as Jagiellonia have come together in a pre-half huddle just to delay our restart slightly more. Aggregate winner tonight advances straight into the playoff round to meet Georgian side Iberia 1999. The team eliminated tonight drops into the secondary European playoff pathway against either Jablonec of the Czech Republic or RFS of Latvia. We suspect that's probably a bit of a 4-4-2 now. Kusama on the left-hand side of the defence, maybe even McCrory playing as a right wing-back. That's a foul on Dan Neil, and the first yellow card of the evening, just 20 seconds into this second half. I think it was Talas Romanchuk. He's not happy, Dan Neil. Former Sunderland man. He was just stretching there. Romanchuk got to the ball before Neil, but his studs have come down the outside of the knee of Dan Neil. It's probably the right decision in the end from the official. If he wants to wear with Neil, it was an angry reaction. Going to be Neil to take the set piece. He's too deep into the 6-yard box, too close to Slavomir Abramovich. We see his own player there. Lawrence Shankland trying to get on the end of it. And Abramovich picks the ball up. Whereas Niko Raskan, I think, was just interfering with the goalkeeper's clearance. That's why the referee's given them a free kick rather than the ball that Rangers wanted. Kusama wins it back in a decent position. There's McCrory. It looks like it's now a back four of Dujon Sterling, Emmanuel Fernandez, Macania and Ross McCrory slotting in at left back. Wins it. Yeah, with his right foot. He's a right-footed player, so slightly inverted fullback at the moment as Kusama's been freed up with a bit more space down the left-hand side. That was where most of the threat came down for Jagiellonia-Bialystok. Rodrigo Conceição. Klinger to Schmidt. Klinger. Schmidt. Shooting towards their travelling supporters away in that far corner as we look at things. Montoya. Romanchuk's ball is cut out by Dan Neil. Kusama forward to Naderi, slightly behind the German, and stepping in is Bernardo Vital. Fernandez cuts it out as Imath was to poke it forward to Nick Prelec. Vital. To his left to find Kobayashi. Now Klinger. Montoya accelerating forward. Trying to feed it into the path of Prelec. Sterling across. Schmidt with the throw-in. Finds Montoya. Left-footed ball. It's a dangerous looking one, but McCrory had a decent sight of it. It's all the way out of play, well, not quite out of play until McCrory gets his toe to it. Still showing the signs. That war wound, the head injury suffered against Hibernian. It's a proper shiner there for Ross McCrory. To Abramovich. From the goalkeeper. Now just marking up on the edge of the penalty area. Not afraid of pressing high here, Rangers. Raskan's been penalised for tugging it back. And Klinger. Says the devil in him, doesn't he, Nico Raskan? Anders Klinger. A summer signing from Bodo Glimt. They earned real plaudits for their European adventures last season, didn't they? Aside from the Arctic Circle. Looking to recreate those heroics tonight in Glasgow. Not quite as far north as he's used to playing. Abramovich. Towards halfway. Can't keep the ball here. Jagiellonia. Klinger. Here's Schmidt. Sterling. Focuses Rangers defender to him. Schmidt down the outside. Montoya towards the near post. Fernandez goes down as Prelec it was who flung a boot at it. Back on his feet quickly, the former Peterborough man. Haven't seen as much of Kajetan Schmidt as we did in the first leg. Had contacted Prelec, but couldn't get it past Fernandez in the process as well. The follow-through just caught him. He's all right to continue though. This is Dan Neal. That's forward, Gisama. Dancing through bodies. Now Naderi will latch on to the end of that pass. The touch is too heavy and eventually trundles into the arms of Slavomir Abramovich. Well, next on the agenda for Jagiellonia, Lech Poznan. In 9 days' time, their game against Pogoń Szczecin postponed. By Sterling. It's aimed at Ryan Naderi. It's on back by Jagiellonia. Mind you of that. Jagiellonia stock line-up. Slavomir Abramovich in goal. Back four of Wojciech, Vital, Kobayashi and Montoya. Rejus Imaz and Klinger supporting the captain Taras Romanchuk. Rodrigo Conceição and Schmidt on the wings. Prelec through the middle. The Rangers give it away again, tried to force that one rather towards Lawrence Shankland. Kobayashi to Bernardo Vital. McCrory, not really well. Conceição goes down, bellowing in apparent agony here as he clutches his right ankle. McCrory not impressed. Referee across the check on him. Yeah, as he goes to jump there, he's just stepped on Rodrigo Conceição. By Wojciech. It's back to Abramovich. Now Kobayashi. Great time on the ball for the former Celtic defender. Airing his way, it's squared to Vital instead, between the lines for Image. Romanchuk spotted the run of Nick Prelec. Fernandez. A long diagonal out to the left-hand side for JD Gassama. Little back heel, and McCrory feeds it in field to Shankland. Can't sort his feet out, dispossessed as well by Vital. Long by Klinger, looking for Schmidt. Beats Sterling to it, lovely first touch, gets it out in front of him. Schmidt in towards the middle of the penalty area, and Pandor can claim. Balled out to Neil. Neil to Yokota. Yokota backwards to Fernandez. He'll turn back to Ivan Pandor as well. Macania. Tries to feed it into midfield and Romanchuk forward. It's a towering header by Fernandez. Naderi lays it off to Shankland. Shankland wide here to Yokota. He goes down. Wins the free kick. Guilherme Montoya with the foul. Fast feet by the Rangers number 17. Ten minutes gone in this first half. No change to the scoreline, no change to the aggregate. There was tension before the game. Imagine the tension if it's like this after 85 minutes of football. No way to go yet for both of these two sides. Here's Fernandez. Yokota sprinting after it. Hasn't been quite as effervescent as he was in the first half, and that one will bounce away from him. Montoya. Kobayashi. Vital. Montoya. Kobayashi to Vital. Here's Gassama. To go beyond his man. Scrap was in there. Excuse me, Raskin with the foul. Montoya. Vital, long diagonal down the left-hand side, looking for Schmidt. Seems to be a tactical shift. Schmidt tries to go past Dusan Sterling, gets his body in the way. He's offside though. Dan Schmidt. Step or so beyond Sterling. And Schmidt inside to Klinger, just outside the penalty area. Romanchuk for Imouth. Romanchuk again. Out to the left-hand side, Schmidt. Schmidt to Romanchuk. First time passing here for Jagiellonia. Here's Schmidt. Finger. Swung in by Montoya. Away by Macania. Montoya. Vital in the centre circle, to his right to Norbert Wojciech. Now Kobayashi. They're probing here. Jagiellonia trying to find some openings. Montoya thought about the early cross towards Prelates, who'd made a run. So it's back again to the defenders. Inside by Kobayashi. Vital. The second half at Tynecastle, still goalless between Hearts and Benfica after that 6-1 win for the Portuguese side back in their home country. Here's Emmanuel Fernandez. Shankland. Fernandez to Pandur. Now Macania on that left-hand side. Raskan. Back to Fernandez. Macania. McCrory. Neil. Here's Fernandez. Sterling. Yokota. Fernandez. Across the centre circle to Macania. Now McCrory. Gassama steps inside, taking players with him, finds Raskan. Kicked over the top, Shankland couldn't take it down. Vital will take it away. Wojciech. It's run back. Macania. Gassama outside the penalty area. It's from distance, and again struggles to test Slavomir Abramovich. Now gone now. Still just the one goal of the night. Lawrence Shankland from the penalty spot. If you are just joining us, a VAR review for a handball by Yuki Kobayashi has given them the foothold in the game they currently enjoy. Rangers 2 warming up on the touchline as things stand. Derek McInnes passing on the final instructions here. Looks like Cammy Devlin is warming up. Came on at half-time in the first leg. Started against Hibernian. Here's your coach. Shankland's touch got away from him. Showed too much of it to Vital. It's forward by Conceição. Prelates can't keep it. Here's Dan Neil. Gassama sweeps past Wojciech. Still going Gassama. That's a foul surely. And the free kick is given and the yellow card is out for Bernardo Vital. Stayed down here, JD Gassama. It's a lazy tackle for Bernardo Vital. Just he's turned his body and offered the shoulder. It's going to be Dan Neil to take this. Almost level with the edge of the penalty area on that left-hand side. There are targets in the penalty area as well. Yokota is lurking on the edge of the box. He's not been marked. It's Neil. Right in towards the near post keeper. I think he got a glove to it. Raskan again was contesting in front of Abramovich. Shankland across. Kota back. Klinger. A switch by Conceição. Schmidt. An important intervention from Sterling. Drops here to Klinger again. Towards the back post! They've taken the lead! On aggregate. It's Nick Prelec. A brilliant delivery deep towards the back post. Nick Prelec was there. All 6'2" of him. Rangers have it all to do again. Wide eyes from the Jagiellonia-Bialystok supporters. Sterling had to intervene initially. There's no offside. It's a brilliant ball from Anders Klinger. The in-swinger. The game's certainly on now, and here come the changes for Rangers. Off goes Nico Raskat and Dan Neil. And Vanja Dragojevic, the Serbian, is on. As is Cami Devlin. We're changing the engine room for Rangers. We're going to change to the scoreline as well. Makania, Ross McCrory. Fernandez. Well, it really does throw a spanner in the works now for Derek McInnes. Kota. Back to Fernandez. Fernandez. Kota. Gassama can't squeeze it past Conceição. Maybe Kota here can break a little opening up. They look a bit panicked now, Rangers. Here comes Makania. Devlin. And a play for a throw-in on the far side. Wojciech was going to take it. It's back to Abramovich. Here is Montoya. Back by Schmidt. Lost by Schmidt. Klinger. With a foul on. Dragojevic. Playing in his preferred position. Featured against Hibernian at right back. Makanya. McCrory. Devlin, searching ball for Gassama. Unsuccessful search. Naderi laid it off to Shankland, just got it caught under his body. Naderi wins it back on the edge of the penalty area. And he can't generate any pace with the finish. It's into the hands of Abramovich. Just couldn't move his feet quick enough. Rangers win it high up the pitch again. Oh, it's confusion once more. Dragojevic trying to play it back out to that right-hand side for Sterling. He was caught on his feet, his ankle, his heels. However way you put it, he was left behind, and the ball goes behind. And they're pressing high, Rangers. They keep winning the ball back. Klinger fed towards Schmidt on the left-hand side. And Montoya. Ball from Abramovich is all the way through. Fernandez. Panda wasn't quick enough off his line. Krelec was all over his back. Fernandez does well to adjust. Here's Makanya. McCrory forward. Looking for Naderi. He's done well. Gets there first. Kobayashi with the tug. Referee gives a free kick against Ryan Naderi. Dragojevic wants a VAR check. Looks like he gets the wrong side of the defender, Ryan Naderi, and Kobayashi. There's a little nudge in the back. I'm not so sure that the referee's got this one right. He's got a handful of his shirt. Yuki Kobayashi. Yellow card's been shown to Vanja Dragojevic, the Serbian first Rangers player into the book, and a yellow card for Derek McInnes. And one of the Jagiellonia coaching staff too. To feel for Ryan Naderi there. It's physical. Upset Kobayashi. Looked like he was clean through on goal. You can understand the referee's perspective. There was a bit of a barge. Well, Schmidt tried the rainbow flick, never really came off. Dragojevic, Devlin, and a little dummy, body feint. Yakota, Dragojevic as well to keep it on. Sterling. Devlin. A shove from Klinger. They're always looking for the contact there, the Rangers defenders. Referee points to the touchline, and there'll be a change. Fourth and fifth changes for Rangers here. Off goes Naderi, on comes Bojan. JD Gassama's going to make way. And Finlay Curtis is going to come on, a 20-year-old Scotland international. Rangers win the free kick. No complaints from Prelec. Cammy Devlin takes it. There's Dujon Sterling. Just lost a bit of momentum as he made his way down the right-hand side. No changes from Jagiellonia yet. 75 minutes played. Hooked up in the air by Devlin. Majowski jumping, drops to Shankland, hooked away by Klinger. There is Fernandez. Yokota away by Vital. Sterling down the line to Majowski, tries to chest it into the path of Daisuke Yokota. Bounces away from Prelec. There is Dragojevic. Spun in behind by Klinger. Schmidt tries to pull it back. Little ricochet off Sterling, allows it to trundle through into the arms of Ivo Pandur. Makanya, McCrory, Makanya again. Fernandez looks for one of those defence-splitting passes. It's over the top towards the edge of the penalty area. Shankland tries to take it down. Vital will take it away. That's given away. Yokota, oh, good recovery from Klinger. Majowski trying to harass Montoya as he heads towards the corner flag. They'll win the throw in, Montoya, but a handful of Bojan Majowski's shirt as well. Can't afford to let this fizzle out, Rangers. You suspect we might start seeing some Jagiellonia changes soon to try and break up the last 13 minutes of this second leg. Sterling had a head start, gets there in front of Schmidt. That's launched away by Ivo Pandur. Flicks backwards off of Romanchuk. Majowski chasing shadows. It's across from Kobayashi to Vital. And a diagonal aim towards Schmidt. Sterling with the header. Flicked on by Dragojevic. Yokota ran into Montoya. He's hobbling around out there, Daisuke Yokota. Not quite as effective as he was in that first half. Haven't seen any of Finlay Curtis yet in this since coming on. Might do now. That's McCrory. Wojciech with a little flick as it's out of play. It's given away from the throw-in by Rangers. Emath. McCrory with the foul on Conceição on the far side. A bit of time Epps away from Rangers again. Here comes the change. There will be Anders Klinger, who departs. Eric Kozlowski. He's very much a defensive midfielder. Nick Prelec is hobbled across to the sidelines. He's not moving particularly freely. Pandor. There's a long clearance. Sterling. Fernandez. Holding off Prelec. It's away by Kobayashi. Thrown on the near side. There's Yokota. Devlin. McCrory. And now Finley Curtis. Cammy Devlin. McCrory. Devlin again. Yokota. Loses the ball. Looks spent, Daisuke Yokota. Rangers have made all 5 changes. He's looking a very tired man, Daisuke Yokota. Has to muster something. Flicked on by Yokota, McCrory caught on his heels. Rodrigo Conceição's gone down, holding his shoulder. Says he needs a substitution. Those discussions between Semeniec talking to his coaching staff. Into the final 10 minutes, Rangers need something special now. To go back to 2019, the last time Rangers beat Polish opposition here at Ibrox. Legia Warsaw, the opponents that day, took a late one there as well. There's some very nervous faces around us. It's an edgy evening. Rodrigo Conceição back on his feet, but looks like he's heading towards the sidelines. And the change is imminent. Will be Yusuf Silla. The 23-year-old Belgian to come on in his place. So we're going to see Boniface as well, known from Lens. And going off will be Conceição. I imagine Prelec will be departing shortly as well. It's Miofsky it was winning it back. It's Delagojevic. Here come those changes. Confirmation Conceição goes off. And it will be Nick Prelec who goes off. Those 2 aforementioned changes will be coming on. Got 10 seconds to get off the pitch. Referee counting them off, counting it down. Boniface and Silla coming on for the last 7.5 minutes by my watch. Here's McCrory now on the right-hand side. Emmanuel Fernandez extricated himself from a precarious little position there. Yokota helps her on his way. Shankland, McCrory. Shankland, McCrory. Gets his cross away, a little deflection. Carries it closer towards the near post. Has he kept it in play, Montoya? McCrory had thought that had gone behind. It took a last touch off Ross McCrory, and the referee signals goal kick. Yeah, Montoya has done well. Magnified Yokota in this second half. McCrory did a bit of that as well as he got in front of the Japanese winger. Here's Silla. Agbonifo, right hand side. Agbonifo tried to poke it into the box. In the way was Makanya. Finley Curtis denies the throw in, launches it forward. Shankland trying to get there. Wojciech, Agbonifo, high ball towards the back post, looking for Schmidt. Still they keep the ball. Montoya. Two sliding. Devlin and Majowski. Can't win it back. Nimath. Bonifaux. Wojciech. That's off the midriff of Macania. Goes behind for a corner. A goal here would kill it. Guillermo Montoya trotting out to take the corner kick. Doing his best to slow the game down and waste a little bit more time. Here's Montoya, left-footed ball. Deep towards the back post. Kobayashi was there. Had to do some defending there, Rangers. It ended up in the gloves of Ivo Pandur. The coach took one to the back of the head from Taras Romanchuk. Not sure he knew he was even there, Romanchuk. In the corner, it was Kobayashi initially. And Vital trying to finish it off as well. Ball into the area. Findlay Curtis, Shankland with the thumbs up, as that's nodded behind for a corner by the captain Romanchuk. Will take it here, Findlay Curtis. Right under the crossbar. Abramovich punches it away. Dakota gets there in front of Bonifaux. He wants the free kick, Yokota, but he's not going to get it. Swung down the left-hand side. Dusan Sterling was there to watch it out of play. Now we'll look forward. Shankland finds Dragojevic. Might bundle through to Majowski. Now Shankland on the follow-up. Too many bodies in the way. All very congested in the penalty area. Montoya has time to clear the danger. Here's Macania. Looked like it was going to fall for one of the two centre forwards. Dusan Sterling. Long to the edge of the penalty area. Nodded away by Romanchuk. Devlin. Findlay Curtis can't force his way through. Devlin chases out towards Bonifaux. Gets there ahead of the Swede. Here's Macania. Dragojevic. Dusan Sterling. Right hand side for McCrory. Back to Sterling. Fernandez carries it forward. Emmanuel Fernandez. Curtis swept in there. Oh, so close. It was Dragojevic who was there. There were three of them all attacking the same ball. Bojan Majowski too. It's a brilliant ball from Findlay Curtis. Just chops in field. It was Majowski. I think he's taken it away from Dragojevic. He's wanting the free kick, Dragojevic. Sterling, McCrory, Yokota, Sterling, Macania. Fernandez has stayed forward. Here he is. Devlin. Sterling. Starting to tire here, Jagiellonia. Yokota. outnumbered. Tried the back heel to McCrory. Montoya, Schmidt, Emath, Agbonifo. Kozlowski helps Jagiellonia keep the ball. Agbonifo. Kozlowski, right hand side now. Eric Kozlowski. Wojciech, Agbonifo, Wojciech, Kozlowski, touch is too heavy. That'll be a goal kick for Rangers. Seconds remaining at the 90. They're at the mercy of the officials now. Ivo Pandur. There'll be 4 additional minutes. That's given straight away by Pandur to Agbonifo. Devlin sliding in, conceding the free kick as well. Puts his hands on his head, he can't believe it. Didn't get any of the ball there, Cammy Devlin. Big chunk of Jeremy Agbonifo before he got anywhere near the ball. Referee wants the free kick taken. Agbonifo has ignored him already. Agbonifo clips it in. Away by Macania. Flipped forward by Finley Curtis. Yokota chasing it. Wojciech is there first. Dragojevic lets it run to Macania. Now McCrory on the right hand side. Forward to Dragojevic. Blocked by Kozlowski. McCrory. Just Sterling. Looks for Curtis. Now Yokota. Devlin. Spears it into the box. Fernandez tried to help it on its way. It's back with Sterling in the centre circle. Ross McCrory. High into the penalty area. Shankland's up. Here's Fernandez. Leaves it to Shankland. Shankland tees it up. It was Dragojevic narrowly wide. Looked to be curling towards the top corner from the edge of the penalty area. He thinks there's something amiss there. Schmidt. Macania. Back to Pandur. Hammers it long. Vital away. McCrory. Dragojevic. McCrory. Runs into traffic. Kozlowski. Now Montoya. Devlin was in well. Referee didn't help him out. Rather in his path. Yokota chasing across towards Montoya. That's laid off by Silla. Strong challenge from Dujon Sterling. Curtis is across. The clock is ticking. We're into the final minutes of the advertised added time. Jagiellonia will make a further change. Guillermo Montoya is going to go off. Is he? It's the wrong number. Jesus Emath is going to depart. It's going to be Apostolos Konstantopoulos. Defender on for an attacker. Shoring themselves up defensively, Jagiellonia. Officially there are 20 seconds left, but we'll have a little bit more thanks to that change. Adrian Siemieniec is on his haunches. Bonifo can't keep it. Dragojevic. That's given away by Macania. Here's Schmidt. Laid off to Montoya. Can't keep it in play. Kami Devin will take the throw in. Into Dragojevic. It's gone backwards, much to the frustration of the Ibrox crowd. Sterling. Makanya pumps it long. Fernandez, it drops to Dragojevic. Little back heel by Curtis, looking for Shankland. Dragojevic towering. Curtis tries to help it on its way again. Here's McCrory, a header. Dragojevic, referee's looked at his watch. Dujon Sterling can't beat the first man on the edge of the penalty area. And the referee blows the whistle. It's full time. Boos echo around Ibrox, apart from one little corner. They're an ecstasy, the Jagiellonia-Bialystok supporters. A famous night for them. Another bump in the road for Derek McInnes. Rangers will not feature in this tournament any longer. It's a playoff for the lower competition in Europe for them. For Jagiellonia-Bialystok, their dreams of playing in this tournament continue. Rangers got themselves in front through Lawrence Shankland from the penalty spot. But in the second half, Jagiellonia-Bialystok came back into it. The goal from Nick Prelec levelled things up on the night and gave Jagiellonia the aggregate lead. Derek McInnes struggling in his opening weeks as Rangers manager. It is a job that comes with a lot of pressure, and it's pressure he's certainly feeling. They'll have to prepare for another playoff next week. Difficult night at Ibrox yet again. Back to the drawing board for Rangers. Full time at Ibrox. It's finished. Rangers 1, Jagiellonia 1. Rangers are out of the tournament.